What's up, Bears Nation? Buckle up because today we've got some serious stuff to unpack. The Chicago Bears are heading into the 2025 season with a roster that looks a whole lot better on paper than it did a year ago. And this is a big but, that there's still one department that hasn't quite hit the mark yet. One area where things feel just a bit too quiet, and yeah, you guessed it, it's the pass rush. Now let's be clear, the Bears haven't been asleep at the wheel when it comes to defense. They made a splash by locking in Montez Sweat. They went out and handed Dayo Odeyingbo a deal worth $48 million over 3 years. That's not pocket change. It shows intent. It shows they want to build a front that can pressure quarterbacks and make life miserable for opposing offenses. But here's where the cracks start to show. Beyond those two, the depth chart starts to look a little shaky. We're talking about guys like Daniel Hardy, Dominique Robinson, and Austin Booker. Solid athletes? Sure. High ceiling? Possibly. Proven. Impact players? Not yet. The Bears finished last season with a pretty underwhelming 40 sacks. Montez Sweat, the guy expected to lead the charge, had just 5.5. That's not going to cut it if Chicago wants to turn defensive dominance into wins. So now the spotlight shifts to someone who could make a huge difference, not just on the field, but on the sidelines as well. New defensive coordinator Dennis Allen is stepping in with a reputation for building tough, disruptive units. And if he's going to turn this Bears defense into something special, he might need a few more tools in the toolbox. That brings us to a name that's been floating around lately, Tano Capasagnon. Now, this isn't a headline-stealing name. He's not the guy who's going to sell jerseys or dominate highlight reels. But what he brings is reliability, familiarity with Allen's system, and the kind of veteran depth that can make or break a defense in key moments. Capasagnon's history with Dennis Allen is no small detail. These two worked together in New Orleans from 2021 through 2024. So if there's any coach out there who knows how to get the best out of Capasagnon, it's Allen. And with Chicago needing someone who can slide into that rotation and bring consistency, it's a connection that just makes sense. Injuries have held Capasagnon back over the years. That Achilles tear in 2024 limited him to just 3 games, and durability is always going to be a question. But when he's on the field, he's shown flashes, moments where he's explosive, disruptive, and flat out hard to block. In 2021, he tied his career high with 4 sacks. Then in 2023, he dropped 3 in a single game, showing that he can still bring the heat when the opportunity's there. Across his 4 seasons with the Saints, he tallied 9.5 sacks and 24 quarterback hits. Not eye-popping numbers, but not bad either, especially when you consider his role. Capasagnon isn't a starter. He's not meant to be the number 1 guy on the edge. He's a rotational piece, someone who comes in fresh and gets pressure when it counts. And in a league where depth can be the difference between good and great, that kind of presence is incredibly valuable. Let's rewind for a second. Before his time in New Orleans, Capasagnon started his NFL journey with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a second-round pick back in 2017 and made a solid impact during his time there. In 2020, he started 15 games, his career high, and helped the Chiefs make another Super Bowl run. He ended his time in Kansas City with 7 sacks and 18 quarterback hits. And oh yeah, he's got a Super Bowl ring on his resume, which never hurts. What the Bears need right now isn't necessarily another starter. They've got that in Sweat and Odeyingbo. What they need is someone who's been there, who knows how to prepare, who can plug in without the defense skipping a beat. And that's where Capasagnon becomes interesting. He's played in over 100 games in his career, even if only 34 were starts. That's experience. That's time in the trenches. That's knowing what it takes to compete at a high level, even when your name's not the first one called. Dennis Allen knows what he's working with. He's not just bringing in guys for the sake of filling out a roster. He wants players who understand his system, who can step in without a huge learning curve, and who won't shy away from competition. Capasagnon fits that bill. And maybe, more importantly, he's not going to come in demanding a massive contract or expecting to be the star. He knows his role, and he embraces it. Chicago might still want to give their current group a shot. After all, Austin Booker is heading into his 2nd season and might just take that leap. He played about 27% of defensive snaps. Still last year, not a huge sample, but enough to show some potential. But potential doesn't always translate to production, and the Bears can't afford to wait too long to find out. If they get through training camp and the pass rush still looks Like a question mark, bringing in a guy like Capasagnon could be the smart, safe move. It's the kind of low-risk, high-reward signing that doesn't grab headlines but ends up paying off when you need that crucial third down stop in Week 11. And again, we're not talking about a flashy addition. We're talking about a smart one. Capasagnon's connection to Allen might just be the key here. It's more than just familiarity. It's trust. It's chemistry. It's knowing that your coach believes in your ability and has already seen what you can do up close. That matters. Especially when the pressure's on and every snap counts. And look, no one's pretending that adding Capasagnon is going to suddenly turn the Bears into the best defense in the league. That's not the point. But football's a game of details. It's a game of matchups, rotations, depth, and having the right piece in the right spot at the right time. Capasagnon might not be the centerpiece of this defensive puzzle, but he could be the piece that holds it together when things get tough. Now, let's not pretend like the Bears are walking into this season without optimism. Fans have every reason to believe this team is heading in the right direction. The front office has shown it's willing to invest in the trenches, build from the inside out, and surround its core players with the kind of support that's necessary to win in the long term. But winning in the NFL is a puzzle with 1,000 tiny pieces, and the pass rush is still one of the pieces that feels incomplete. It's not about grabbing headlines in March or winning the offseason on paper. It's about being ready in December and January when games get colder, tougher, and more unforgiving. That's exactly why a veteran presence like Tano Capasagnon could be such an underrated move. Look, we've seen it time and time again. Teams that rely too heavily on their top-tier starters without reinforcing the depth chart often end up scrambling by mid-season. Injuries, fatigue, inconsistent performances, they're all part of the grind. What separates the contenders from the pretenders is who has the next man up ready to step in. The Bears can't afford to be one injury away from collapsing on the edge, and with someone like Capasagnon, they wouldn't be. And let's talk about his play style. He's got that length and power combo that's always a nightmare for offensive linemen. At 6'7" and nearly 300 pounds, he's not your average edge guy. He's more than just a pass rusher. He's a versatile disruptor who can slide inside when needed, collapse the pocket, set the edge against the run, and eat up blocks to free others to make plays. That kind of physical profile is rare. Add in his understanding of Allen's scheme, and you've got a guy who can be dropped into the rotation and know exactly what's expected of him from day one. But what often gets overlooked is the leadership aspect. This Bears team is young in a lot of places. They've got talent, no doubt, but they need voices in the locker room who've been through playoff runs, who understand preparation at the highest level, and who don't flinch when the stakes go up. Capasagnon has played in massive games. He's walked through Super Bowl week. He's lined up against the best offensive lines in football and held his own. That experience matters. It doesn't always show up in stats, but it shows up when rookies are struggling, when the unit needs to reset after a rough series, or when a 2-minute drill decides the game. For a team like Chicago that's trying to shift its identity, trying to be known for gritty, physical, smash-mouth defense again, those intangibles are everything. You can draft high upside kids every year, but if you're not surrounding them with veterans who set the tone, you're just hoping they figure it out on their own. And hoping doesn't win football games. Structure does. Culture does. And culture starts with guys like Capasagnon who understand what it means to be a pro. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A new wave of excitement seems to be stirring in Chicago as whispers circulate about a potential major addition to the Bears roster. Rumors suggest that Michael Onwenu, a dynamic and powerful offensive lineman, could be arriving in Chicago, igniting a buzz among fans and analysts alike. While nothing has been officially confirmed yet, the possibility of Onwenu donning the Bears uniform is already creating quite the stir in the NFL community. Known for his versatility and formidable presence on the offensive line, Onwenu has been a key player in his previous team's success. His ability to protect the quarterback and create running lanes has earned him respect across the league. The idea of him bringing that same energy and strength to the Bears could mark a turning point for a team eager to solidify its offensive front. Chicago's faithful have been craving improvements, and Onwenu's arrival might just be the spark the franchise needs. Sources close to the organization hint that talks have been progressing behind the scenes, with both sides showing mutual interest. The Bears, who have struggled at times to maintain a consistent and reliable offensive line, see Onwenu as a potential cornerstone for the future. Meanwhile, Onwenu's skill set fits perfectly with the team's strategy to boost offensive performance and protect their quarterback under heavy pressure. The atmosphere surrounding this possible acquisition is reminiscent of the excitement that comes with a new star player joining a franchise hungry for success. Fans have already begun imagining how the offensive line might look with Onwenu in the mix, speculating on the positive impact he could have on both run blocking and pass protection. The buzz on social media and sports forums indicates that Chicago supporters are ready to welcome him with open arms, celebrating what could be a major turning point in the Bears' rebuilding journey. While the deal is yet to be finalized and official announcements remain pending, the buzz is impossible to ignore. If Michael Onwenu does indeed join the Bears, it could herald a new era for the team, potentially shifting the balance in one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. Until then, the city of Chicago remains on edge, eagerly awaiting confirmation and hoping that the rumors translate into reality, a celebrated arrival that could change the course of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.